Thank you. Yeah, so this is the last part of your syllabus, and it is like, as yesterday I said, like, yes, we can discuss something about ethics in IPR. Now you all might be knowing about IPR, that is Intellectual Property Act, or Intellectual Property Rights. So what is the connection between IPR and ethics, or no? So there is a close connection between these things, like IPR, that is intellectual property. Now, what is intellectual property? Actually, it is some kind of knowledge or some kind of information is created, generated, and developed by you, your company, your organization. It may be related to one person, or it may be creation of any organization. So it is related. There are different aspects which can be shared, or which can be shared. Okay, thank you. So it is about all these things, like maybe related to some systems or process or anything and everything. So if you're sure that there is a process like by which you can register your processes or organization processes, or the systems or the product, and then you can go for patent. So we will not go into depth like what is means by IPR, and how to go about it, and how to file patent and other things. But yes, there is a process, and you can register and you can take a patent. And we all know that, this is well-known fact, that once you have taken patent for anything, any process, or any product, or any system which is developed by you individually, or for your organization, then nobody can copy it, right? So, but still there are certain people, or there are certain cases, we all know about it, and people, they do this copying and other thing. So this is against the ethics, and in this way ethics in IPR can be collected or connected, we can say. So first point, that is patent infringement or infringement. So what is mean by that? So it is like if you are this registered for patent, or if you have doing something, and someone else or somebody else, maybe some organization, some other organizations, or some other individuals, when they copy, fine, your patent or information or anything, and which creates monetary damage, or injunction against the infringement and other thing, so it is dangerous and it is against the ethics. So there is a legal, one party who has that patent can take legal actions against you, against that, or your organization and all. So this is what, in this way the ethics and IPR is connected. So nobody can misuse the patent. Like, okay, once you have taken the patent for something, look, while taking, or while finding that particular patent right, you need to mention that what is your objective, why you want to take patent for that, or patent against anything, and what is your objective, and this thing. So this is again very ethically, you must behave ethically, or it should be in line with the ethics. Like, you must have this, and you should not copy anybody's patent, or you should not misuse the information which is if you receive any patent for your anything which is there, like which is invented, or which is your original creation, fine. So nobody can misuse it. Likewise, copyright infringement, like if you are writing something in some written material as policies and other things, if you have created, or some images or something, so you all know that whenever we copy or whenever we copy any image or something, so, or if you are writing a research paper or something, so it is like one message you may receive, like, okay, these images may be registered under copyright. So this is we need to take very, very these are very sensitive issues, and we need to take care of these things. So, and it is not ethical, like when you are thinking about, or when you are going for the same. So this is what it means. And then trademark also, you must not copy anybody's trademarks and then or misuse the things. So in this way you can keep these things in your mind for your exam and for other things, like it is okay and this much information is needed. So moving ahead, that is we need to understand the models of ethical decision making. कौन से models है? So first model is plus filter model. Now what is plus filter model? Plus stands for policies, P stands for policies, L stands for legal, U is universal, and S is self. Now, what is policies? We all know it is the consistent, guidelines or which provides you direction and which gives you, it shows you a path like by which you can go and achieve organizations, goals and objectives or the mission. So whenever you are creating or developing any decision, when you are creating or taking any decision, so in that case we need to understand like about the policies or the policies which are or the policy framework of your organization which will guide you. And in that case you need to ask one question to yourself, that is the policies, is it consistent with my organization's policies, procedures and guidelines? So whenever you are taking any decisions, so you need to ask this question to yourself, whether your decision making or the decision or the alternative which you are going to choose, क्या मेरे organization के policies के साथ, procedures के साथ और guidelines के साथ match कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है. Then next point, that is legal. It is acceptable under, is it acceptable under the applicable laws and regulations? So this is again very important point, because there are certain laws and legal applications are there. Some regulations are there. So whenever you are taking any decision, so the decision maker or you as the expert, you need to understand, you need to check, recheck again, like whether what is the legal provision for this related to regarding these issues. So this is the second, L stands for. And then universal, so you can ask this question when you are taking decisions or making any decisions, does it conform to the universal principles or the values my organization has adopted? So like these sometimes these type of questions you can ask. Then self, does it satisfy my personal definition of right, good and fair? So this is what plus model or a plus filter model. So whenever you are thinking of creating or taking any decision, that is, and of course the ethical decision making, we discussed 9 steps, if you remember, that how we can go upon or how we can make ethical decision making. So by following those 9 steps, we can take or we can follow ethical decision making. So this is one of the model which will help you. And whenever you are taking or whenever you are interested to take any decisions, those are, we can call them as ethical decisions. Fine, ethical decision, what is right and wrong, what is good. And the most important thing, like we must mention here, like ethical decision making means the right decision making. It means what? Right. Who will decide what is right? Of course, the values and belief system of your organization, the culture of your organization, or when your organization is started by your entrepreneurs or maybe management or directors and board of directors, so they have some vision, and they set some vision for that organization, and people in the organization, when they follow, they need to take care of this. So you need to apply some filters, what it means. So this particular model gives you direction, like okay, you can apply certain filters. So first filter is, or what is a prerequisite, that whenever you are making any decision, now decision we already discussed what is mean by decision making, like okay, there could be different alternatives which are available, and then you need to select the best possible, best suitable alternative to solve that particular problem. Not only that, but along with this you need to think about value based decisions. So that is what ethical decision making is. So first filter, like okay, all whichever alternative you feel it is this filter, whenever you feel like, okay, this particular alternative is the best alternative or the right alternative. So in that case, first filter is like we need to check whether it is as per the organization's policies, procedures, and guidelines. Moving ahead, and then again we need to understand whether it is matching or it is fitting to the legal aspects or legal uh, or laws, and some legal regulations are there. So we need to understand the background of a legal background of which is related to that, those issues, and then we can make decisions, or those decisions can be considered as a ethical decisions. Universal, like yes, as like some value system, as I said, or the cultural organization culture is set by the organizations, key people in the organization. So you need to understand whether my decision or whether our decision is as per or matching with the universal principles or the values of this particular organization. And of course, self, like when you are thinking about organization, organizational value system, organization culture, organization mission, organization vision of your organization, or the history of your organization, key people in the organization. But the last but not the least, like, okay, that particular decision must be matching with your own value system or with your own belief system. Like, okay, because you are taking that decision, and it you can apply, by applying those all these filters, you can make ethical decisions, or you can go for selecting the ethical decision. So this is plus filter model what we discussed, that is you can apply the filters in short. Fine. So ethical component of the decision making process take the form of a set of filters. So these are the set of filters what we just now we discussed, that is policies, legal issues, universal applicability, and yes, sphere is self, like, okay, self thought process about that. So this purpose is to surface the ethics considerations and implications of the decisions at hand. So you need to apply all these filters, and then you can make decisions. When decisions are classified as being business decision rather than ethical issues, values can quickly be felt left out of consideration, and ethical lapses can occur. So whenever we should not misconduct, or we should not be there should not be any confusion. Like, yes, sometimes give that some people, they give this justification that we are making business decisions and we are not here to make ethical decisions. So, and from first lecture we are discussing this, like, okay, some people, they always believe like the first motto or the basic intention or objective of any organization is to make profit maximization. So my focus or our focus should be on business. And then when we are taking decisions which are related to business, or in short, business decisions, so we should think about organizational benefits first. Whether we are right or wrong, that is a part. But plus filter models insist that this should not happen. And then whenever you are taking any business decisions, you must apply all the filters and the alternative or the options which are matching, or which clear all these filters, that or those options are most appropriate options, or those kind of decisions we can consider them as a most ethical decision. So this is what plus filter model is all about. Fine. Moving ahead, how we can go about it, the similar kind of things or similar kind of steps according to plus model. First is define the problem. Kal हमने देखा था use plus to surface the ethical issues. Does the existing situation violates any of the plus consideration? So it should not happen. So first of all, we can understand the problems and we can define those problems in a most appropriate way. Once that problems or the scenario or the environment or the situation is clear to us, fine. So then the next steps, we can go for the next step, and that next step is seek out relevant assistance, guidance, and support of the people. Fine. So that also we discussed the same step, which we already discussed. The step number 3 is identify available alternative solutions to the problem. very easy. Like, okay, as I said, like there could be so many alternatives or so many alternative solutions are available to solve that problem. So we need to list down all the alternatives, because we want to select the best one एंड द राइट वन. दो कंडीशंस है, एक कि वो एप्लीकेशन और वो अल्टरनेटिव क्या होना चाहिए, बेस्ट होना चाहिए, बेस्ट अप्रोप्रिएट होना चाहिए. एंड द सेकेंड कंडीशन इज राइट होना चाहिए. नाउ व्हाट इज राइट? दैट इज इथिकल, बिकॉज ethics means what? Right or wrong. So it is clear cut discrimination between these two. So we need to evaluate, we need to write down all the alternatives which are available, and after that we can evaluate the identified alternatives, use plus to assess their ethical impact. So we need to understand, and we can apply plus model here for the evaluation. Fine. So rest of the things are common, rest of the things are as it is, but here at the step 4 we need to evaluate the आइडेंटिफाइड अल्टरनेटिव्स. यहाँ पे हमको उस जितने भी अल्टरनेटिव्स हमने डिस्कस किए और लिखे हैं या जॉट डाउन किए हैं, तो उनको उनका इवैल्यूएशन करना चाहिए. एंड हियर वी कैन अप्लाई दिस प्लस मॉडल टू कम टू एन कंक्लूजन और टू टेक ethical or to make ethical decisions. So when we are evaluating this, so it is written there that use plus to assess their ethical impact. So we need to understand whether all these evaluatives or evaluations or all these alternatives we can filter all these alternatives on the basis of plus. That is, we need to identify the policies of your organization, we can check, or we need to understand the legal complications which are available, which are involved in this particular decision making. Fine. And that is universal nature of those decisions or those alternatives. And of course, S, that is stands for yourself. So self ethics, beliefs, that also we can discuss. So some questions what we just now discussed, the similar kind of or the same line, we can ask certain questions to yourself. But why we are asking this question to yourself? Because we are applying plus filter here. Will the alternatives I am considering resolve the plus violations? Like, okay, and your whichever alternative you will select, it should not violate, or it should not it should follow rather the plus filter model or the plus filters. Like, okay, it should be matching as per the policy, legal framework mein hona chahiye, universal nature hona chahiye, and it should be matching with your self belief system. So you need to understand that. Will the alternatives being considered create any new plus consideration? So if any addition to this, like, okay, we can think on, we can add on, and then we can filter, or we can apply the filter before making any ethical decisions. So whether the ethical trademarks acceptable, so whatever decisions we are making, whether these are acceptable, because this is again very important part. Yesterday we discussed, like, maybe some alternatives are ethically good or ethically sound, but okay, what about their application, or what about their usability, that is operational usability of this kind of decision? So that also we need to check. Then step 5, that make the decision. Step 6 is implement the decision, and very important, that is evaluate the decision. And again here, when it comes to evaluation, you can use this plus filter model here again, that is plus surface any remaining or new ethic issues. So does the resultant situation resolve that earlier plus consideration, or are there any new plus consideration to be addressed? So because see, every situation is different, every situation is challenging for you, and in that case you are learning, you are getting experience, and because of that experience, every time you are taking or you are making new kind of decisions, or any new kind of plus model or filters you can apply. So after your experience, or after your results, like, you need to understand, like, whatever things which are mentioned, or based on your results, you need to understand, like, whether the similar kind of filters are enough or appropriate, or should we go for some additional filters to understand or to make more more ethical decision making. So this at the end or the at 7th step, again we are need to discuss about these things. Moving ahead, as I said, like, okay, this is the end of your syllabus. Only 2 or 3 pointers are left there. Over to you if you have any questions, or if you have any doubts, if you have anything in your mind, you can ask and then I'll answer. Otherwise, we can sign off. Like some case studies and other things are, it is expected by me or by your as per your syllabus, we need to discuss certain case studies. So if you want those, because see, in looking at current examination pattern, only MCQs we need to discuss and it will come. So exam point of view se jitna zaruri tha, we discussed in the class, and that's all from my side. If you have anything, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll sign off. Anything if you have, like as I said, like I'll share question bank with you. I'll mail it to ma'am. Yeah, I noticed ma'am's email ID. It is with me. So I'll send it to ma'am and ma'am will share it to you. So apart from that, anything from your side, you can share your feedback, of course, off the record, on the record. It will help me to improve. Yes, anybody, what you like, what you dislike, whether you are with me, whether you are listening, because see, because I want to complete it there are like time constraint. So I have not asked any questions or no interaction at all from with you all. But yes, in my regular lectures, I do interact with the kids, with the students, but this is a different kind of scenario and different kind of subject. So I have not interacted much. So if you have anything, you can share with me. Aapko jo bhi laga, acha, bura, good, bad, ugly, I'm ready to accept. Anybody from your side, you can please share. अगर आप कुछ बोलना चाहते हैं तो. Yes? No? No problem. So I'll sign off. Okay. Ma'am is there in the class?
I want to share one related to this one.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, about this subject, ma'am, I just overall I'll say that how our Vedas and our all religious books you can implement in your real life, means in practical life, in your office life, or in also not is a like Ramayana or Bhagavad Gita you have to read in temple or somewhere in house only. You can implement what the thoughts given in your real life, means in day-to-day life you can implement and you can succeed in that way. That I very much about this subject actually, I'll say.
Yeah, definitely, Rajesh. In one of the lecture, I discussed like, okay, if you implement one thing, maybe one learning from your learning from all these things like Veda, Mahabharata, Ramayana, and all these things, or the ritual, all these holy books. And it is, please don't read what I feel like, okay, we should not read it to gain something or for my personal, gain or loss. But yes, if you implement, as you rightly said, like if you can implement at least one thing from all these things or from Indian ethos, so it will be great help for everybody. It will be great help for yourself or myself also, the individual help or individual gain. And not only that, by our, like all these things, develop or change our mindset, and definitely which is very, very useful for the social well-being and the national well-being. And that's why I said I love this subject, of course. Yes. And whatever I know, and of course Ashutosh sir is with me, so both of us we tried to give full justice to the things which are given to us. And I'm teaching the same subject to my own students. I'm working in one of the institute, MBA institute, that is Dr. D.Y. Patil Institute of Management Studies. So both of us, we are working there. And this subject, ma'am requested us like, okay, come and discuss these things with our students. So thank you so much, ma'am. for inviting us to give this subject. But as I said, like, okay, there are so many things are there in this subject. This subject is really very beautiful, really very difficult to, teach somebody or to discuss in the class and then complete everything. But yes, my approach, or our approach, mine and my sir's approach is like, okay, we can give some inputs which are necessary to clear this particular subject. That is again very important, because exam point of view se bhi sikhana tha. And the next is like, okay, not only that, but yes, we need to discuss going beyond your syllabus and going no, discussing certain things, so that at least one thing, I'm not expecting much, because I know because of so many constraints. As I said, like, the time is first constraint, because we have very limited time, and as we all know that this is very vast and difficult subject to discuss with or to understand. So there could be, there are a lot of examples we can discuss in the class and we can continue, but ये हो ना सका because of time limit. So exam point of के लिए जितना भी जरूरी था वो हमने डिस्कस किया. और बाकी भी मैंने जैसे बोला कि यस, एक भी चीज किसी को अच्छी लगी और हम सब ने मिलके अगर वो इम्प्लीमेंट की, जैसे राजेश ने बोला, तो डेफिनेटली इट इज गुड फॉर अस. लाइक, ओके, जैसे मैं पढ़ती गई तो मेरे लिए भी बहुत ये चैलेंजिंग था टू अंडरस्टैंड, एंड इट इज रियली वेरी good experience to learn, and it is learning experience for me as a teacher. तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा ये सब्जेक्ट. मैंने भी फर्स्ट टाइम पढ़ाया, बट यस, एज यू ऑल नो दैट आई लव स्पिरिचुअलिटी. एंड जैसे राजेश ने बोला कि यस, वी नीड टू लर्न ऑल दिस थिंग्स और डिस्कस ऑल दिस थिंग्स इन अ न्यू पर्सपेक्टिव. वो नहीं है कि हम लोग मंदिर में पढ़ते हैं, जैसे उन्होंने बोला था कि यस, बिकॉज ऑफ रिचुअल्स वी फॉलो एंड देन वी फॉरगेट. इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. वी नीड टू इम्प्लीमेंट दिस थिंग्स, and then I have some connections. Like, I do believe on spirituality, and I keep on reading the things from ekdam childhood. Say I'm in this particular thing, so I have my likings in this subject or in this particular matter. And Ashutosh Sarbi, he's as I said, like, when we discuss about him, he's a well-read person, and he wrote a book on this particular subject. So it is always good and great to learn from each other. And of course, when I'm interacting with you, I also learn during this particular process. Yes, anything from your side, then it would be great. And it is really great that first time I'm going out and I'm teaching any subject, and I'm interacting other than my students. So your feedback and matters a lot for us. So it's okay. So kabhi next time भी मिलेंगे कहीं ना कहीं. दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है. It's great experience for me. Yes.
Thank you, Nandini ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for calling and interacting with us. I have your email ID, ma'am. So I'll, whatever material I have, I will mail it to you, ma'am. And
yes, ma'am, sure. Because this subject is challenging, but the thing is that, ma'am, we have every one of us, we have somewhere our family members, they have imbibed all these things. Maybe when as a child we had, as a growing up. But then what happens at a certain level, we forget and get engaged in this monetary world or so-called.
I know, ma'am. But so, as Rajesh said, and we all believe, like, okay, we need to start from somewhere. And yes. Thanks to the Pune University and of course AICT that this subject is there at PG level. So we are not expecting this subject at PG level, so it is like my focus was, of course, we discussed certain things related to Indian ethos, because first 2 chapters are related to Indian ethos, but rest all the syllabus, it is related to the business ethics and importance of ethics and other things. So as we discussed, like me and sir, we discussed like, okay, we will give some insight for related to Indian ethos, but at the same time, we need to discuss more about business ethics and other things. So this is what we discussed. So, and then we follow it in all the lectures. And of course, sir is great, and sir's expertise are good in this particular subject. So thank you, ma'am.
Yes, on the behalf of Matrix School of Management Studies, I thank Nandini ma'am as well as Misa sir for extending the help Maybe we
Definitely, ma'am.
wanted our students to have some outlook or exposure regarding this subject.
Definitely, ma'am.
Tomorrow they are all would-be managers. So
Yes, ma'am.
maybe situations in front of them where they need to make a trade-off between profits and the society or ethics, basically.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely.
Inputs will definitely help them in
Yep.
judging some things. I'm sure of it, ma'am. Thank you
Thank
very
you so much,
ma'am.
ma'am. And in exam point of view or up to exam and afterwards also, if they need any help related to this subject, so they can contact me anytime. And like as I said, like I'll give all the materials, I'll mail it to you, and then you can share with them. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Bye. See you, ma'am.